A thriller in OKC last night. We'll get to it in a minute. Kendrick Perkins is here with us. Vince Goodwill, both of them waking up early on the West Coast.
Waking up early. Neither has on a tie. I'm in studio. They're not in studio. Big Perk just got on me last week because I had a wardrobe malfunction. But you know what? He pities the fool every morning. He's on the air, you know, with Mr. T and all that stuff. But it's all right. It's all right. I miss y'all. Love y'all. Good to see y'all this morning. How you doing? How you doing?
Hey, not today. And look, I refuse to take the bait this morning, okay? I refuse to take the bait this morning. I know you chucked your fishing line out there in the water, but you ain't catching this well today, okay? We go get this show started.
In Vince's defense, he did ask me about a tie, and I told him, no, stay true, keep it loose. You're out in L.A., leave it like that.
That's right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Let's go to Oklahoma City last night, because the Thunder hosted the Nuggets, and namesake, as I mentioned, really put on a show. SGA was 1 rebound shy of a triple-double, but finished with 35 points and a career-high 15 dimes. He also matched Wilt Chamberlain's record for consecutive 20-point games, becoming the only other player to do so. SGA hit that step-back three with seconds left to give the Thunder the win. Here he is on his clutch-time performance.
I had no clue what I was going to do. I have answers to the test, but I got to see the questions first. So once I seen he was on my left and I was going right, I think it was Christian Braun that was in the gap. So I knew I probably was if I drove to shoot a midi, it was probably gonna be a contested with 2 guys. So I tried to separate from the 3 and get a good, comfortable shot, and then went down.
So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hit his first game-tying go-ahead 3-point field goal in those final 5 seconds of the fourth quarter or overtime since 2022. The guy is so impressive. Perk, you first. Do you think SGA secured that MVP last night with that performance?
No, Shai, I think it's going to come down towards the end. I still got Jaylen Brown in the thick of things, especially with the Celtics being number 2 in the Eastern Conference. You know, obviously, Cade Cunningham got to be in that conversation. But I will say this, he reminded us, or that game reminded us, that he's still the best player in the world. Like, the MVP conversation is one thing, but when it comes to being the best player in the world, we saw that last night. He is one of the most efficient guards that we've ever seen in the history of the game. And now, Shai has took that leap because we know he's the best in the league for us making tough contested twos and getting buckets. But now he's making guys around him better. Us 4 right here on set today could have been on the floor with him, and we would have each had 10 to 15 points because he's getting the job done. We saw the 15 assists last night, making Jalen Williams look good, making Isaiah Joe look good, distributing the rock, picking and choosing his spots. That's what great players do. So last night was more than just the MVP conversation to me. That was going blow to blow, toe to toe with Jokic, a guy that we've been going back and forth whether or not he's the best player or SGA is. Last night, SGA just reminded us and showed us that he's still the best player in the world, especially when it comes to the clutch and knocking down 2 big threes, one to take the lead, one to bring it up to 4 and another one to win the game. That's what best players in the world do.
And now the Thunder are 3-0 against the Nuggets so far this season. But what do you think, Vince? Do you think he secured that MVP last night, did Shai?
I don't like to be prisoner of the moment, but I think you have to take these moments into account. I do think that he secured his MVP last night. I do think that Jaylen Brown is going to be on the ballot. Nikola Jokic is still going to be on the ballot. So is Cade Cunningham, so is Victor Wembanyama. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the top 5. But when you look at Oklahoma City's season, his number 2 guy, Jalen Williams, has missed more than half the games with injuries. Isaiah Hartenstein has missed a lot of time with injuries. And yet and still, Oklahoma City is by far the best team in the league. And we don't talk about their injuries the way that we talk about Denver's injuries, the way that we talked about Boston missing Jason Tatum. And the reason for that is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And this is going to be his 4th straight year shooting over 50%. His 4th straight year shooting almost 90 from the line and shooting well over 36 from three-point range. I'm willing now to give him the best player in the game because I thought that was Nikola Jokic. I've been saying that for the past couple of years. Once I gave it up to Nikola Jokic, once he crossed that barrier of winning the championship and doing it in the fashion that he did it, he's held that title for me. Now I feel like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has taken that from him in a forceful way last night. We don't talk about OKC's injuries because they got Shai. And here's the final thing for me, guys. There's a stat called win shares per 48 minutes. It's a statistical thing that I don't quite understand, but it's the closest indicator to MVP that we've had in the past 40 or 50 years. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is having one of the absolute greatest seasons in the history of the NBA. We should be paying this a lot more attention than we do.
I hear where you're coming from, Vinny, but I'm going to roll with Perk on this. It's not decided yet. It's 18 games left, and it's still that close. Now, I haven't ignored the fact that only 3 turnovers were committed last night by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's not forget that. This is the point guard that we're talking about here in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's not just a superstar player. He's not just the best in the game, because he is the best in the game, but he's a point guard, okay? So the ball is in his hands. So when you see 3 turnovers, that has a lot to do with his stewardship of the offense. So give credit where credit is due in that regard. He's averaging more points than Jaylen Brown. He shoots better from the field than Jaylen Brown. He shoots better from 3-point range than Jaylen Brown. So we got to take all of those things into consideration. Then when he went out, and then he comes back from injury, he's been back for the last 6 games. Oklahoma City is 6-0. They are undefeated with this brother on the court, and they don't have Jalen Williams. So we all know that right now Shea Butter is in a conversation, top 2 candidate for league MVP honors. But we've marveled at Jaylen Brown. And why have marveled at him? Because he wasn't some number 1 that's just doing what he's done. He was the number 2. Jason Tatum was the number 1. And Jason Tatum goes down, and he walks into this season fresh off of signing, last year anyway, a $300 million deal, 304 to be exact. And what happens? They're saying, yo, what you gonna do now? Can you step up? Can you show? There was actually speculation as to whether or not Boston should just, without Tatum, okay, just tear it all up and start anew, do something. And where's Jaylen Brown going to go? You going to keep him? You going to go elsewhere? You can get a lot of assets for him, whatever. Boston said, hell no. We believe in this brother. Let him show you what he's going to do. And what is Jaylen Brown going out there and do? He's averaging over 28 a game. He's clearly leading the way. He's leading on and off the basketball court. He's carrying the load without Jason Tatum for most of the season, with Derek Wright and Peyton Pritchard as his sidekicks and what have you. Al Horford is gone. Porzingis is gone. Drew Holiday is gone. But Jaylen Brown's still there and is doing his thing. So I definitely think that he's still in the running for the MVP race. Here's the one thing that I will say to Jaylen Brown, and I hope he's watching, because the brother's brilliant. He's a brilliant basketball player, but a brilliant mind. And everybody that knows that, I just finished, I was on last Friday. Perk and I did it years ago where we showed up to MIT and did that event for Daryl Morey. I had to do that with our boss, Burke Magnus and DraftKings, this past Friday in Boston as well. Anytime we're in Boston, obviously, people are going to ask you about the Celtics, and they were talking about Jaylen Brown. We know that Joe Mazzulla is a top candidate for Coach of the Year honors. Jaylen Brown is a top 2 candidate for league MVP. There are 2 road games coming up this week at San Antonio and then against Shea Butter and Oklahoma City. Now, Jaylen Brown, that's going to go a long way towards us looking at you. See, we don't have to look at Shea Butter, because when you look at Shea Butter, he's already the league MVP. He's already an NBA Finals MVP. He's already an NBA champion. So is Jaylen Brown. But Jaylen Brown was that as a number 2 option. You understand? Now, even though you got Tatum back, he's still feeling his way back. It's still you, Jaylen Brown, when you roll up in the San Antonio, when you roll up in the Oklahoma City. What you gonna do? All of us are watching, because we know what he can do. But what you gonna do against those brothers? That is gonna go a long way. If it's nip and tuck, we gonna have a nip and tuck MVP race. If Shea Butter goes out there and busts Boston's, you know what? That's a problem. If Jaylen Brown goes out there with Boston and busts Shea in Oklahoma City, you know what? We're going to be like, oh, damn. We got to pause and look at this, because it's a different day. That's what, it's a regular season. It's 18 games left, but 2 of them are coming up immediately. Their next 2 games for Boston is the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's going to go a long way towards us deciding if Jaylen Brown's going to be an MVP. If he show out, the way he's been showing out all season long, it's going to make us all pause and say, we got to let this go down to the wire because that brother is something special. But if they get obliterated and Shae puts on a show, there's nothing to talk about.
So
we're going to look at that. We're going to say, it's Shae.
Right now, Jaylen Brown, 80-1 odds. He's fifth in the MVP voting. Obviously, how lucky are we? We get to see these two guys go head-to-head, essentially, in the coming days here. The Oklahoma City Thunder have won 6 in a row. But you know who's been really good the month of March and the month of February? That would be the San Antonio Spurs. And so who are we higher on right now? Now, the Spurs did not play last night, so let's not use recency bias, considering what we saw off of the Thunder last night. Who are we higher on, the Spurs or the Thunder? I'll go back to you, Perk.
Right now, I gotta give the edge to the San Antonio Spurs. And when you think about the Spurs, they are peaking at the right time. Wemby, when I watch him play, I swear to God, I feel like it's AI, some of the things that this man is doing on the floor. And it's not just the highlights, it's the old soul. It's his mentality. It's his leadership. It's his tenacity and force that he's playing with. And when you watch this San Antonio Spurs team come together, these guys are playing agenda-free basketball. These guys have established a certain type of identity and culture at home that they're making it a tough environment to play in. And so when I think about OKC, the difference between those two teams right now is health. We have so much uncertainty about the Oklahoma City Thunder because we don't know when J-Dub is going to come back. Is he going to be ready for the start of the season? Start of the playoffs, excuse me. How he's going to look. We don't have those concerns about the San Antonio Spurs. And the way that the West is looking wide open right now, the Denver Nuggets, they have fell off like no limit. You have Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've been inconsistent. I'm looking at the Spurs. They have an identity, and they're going to have home court at least through the conference finals. And to me, I'm higher on them than I am the Oklahoma City Thunder right now. And y'all know how I feel about the Thunder.
No limit catching a straight from Perk on a Tuesday morning. That's bad, man. I think I tend to go with Oklahoma City because I respect them as the champs. And although they have a lot of questions, they have put together a string of wins over the past couple of weeks since Shae has gotten back. You're right, Perk. Hartenstein out, J-Dub out. But they keep rolling bodies out of that assembly line, and these guys keep going and playing. Jalen Williams had a game last night. Chet Holmgren at Madison Square Garden had a game last week. You're watching even Lou Dort and all of his nonsense, but the bottom line is he can play. He deserves to be out there. That's just another element that you have to deal with when you have, Wiggins and Joe and Cason Wallace. Like, they keep rolling guys out there, and they have championship experience and championship equity. We are still yet to see what San Antonio is going to look like in a high-pressure playoff situation. So I'm giving Oklahoma City the advantage right now just because I've seen them do it. And now that they're reestablishing themselves as the power in the Western Conference, I'm going to give them that respect.
I think that's a ridiculous take on the part of Vinny, Mr.
You keep
right
coming
there.
for me,
It's
Stephen A.
It's not coming for you. No. It's not coming for you. You sitting up there on Front Street with some of the ridiculous stuff you're saying. You watch San Antonio. You seen what you seen, what Perk alluded to. There is no reason to have this discussion without Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams being back in the lineup, fine. Until that brother's back, there's no reason to have this discussion. The Oklahoma City Thunder ain't beating the San Antonio Spurs without Jalen Williams. You got to have him and Shea Butter to offset Wembanyama with Castle, Vassell, De'Aaron Fox, and the crew. Oh, hell to the no. What we're seeing from Wembanyama is, listen, Big Perk put it best. He think he watching AI. I can't believe what I'm seeing. The brother's 7'5". He turning away, trying to act like he primetime Deion Sanders, shutting off the entire side of a field, and he just waiting and acting like he ain't paying attention before you go into the lane, and he's swatting your stuff into the stands. He dunking on cats. He doing Euro steps and doing reverse dunks. He's 7'5". How do we know this? Because when they smacked OKC around for the early part of the season, when they won 3 straight, how come you can't beat San Antonio. Why are you having such a problem with them? And Jay Williams, a champion, who we witnessed drop a 40-piece in the finals, sat up there and looked at the media and said, they have somebody over there that's 7'5". Because he's sitting up there going like this, damn, I'm walking around 6'7", 6'8". I can't believe what I'm seeing. I look like Mini-Me next to this brother. This is what it is, and this is what you're getting. And so when you look, it's not just his height. And I want to applaud Wemby for this. They were doing some report, I think it was on ABC, when they were talking about how he doesn't like it when people, and I think Malika Andrews mentioned that he doesn't like when people mention his height. I get it, because he's like this, I'm skilled. Don't act like I'm doing this just because I'm 7'5". I can ball. That's what he's saying. And then he going out on the basketball. It's a fall away mid-range J. It's a three-pointer. It's a Euro step with a reverse dunk. It's bringing the ball up the court 94 feet and dancing on cats and crossing them over at 7'5". The closest thing we've seen to this is Kevin Durant at 7 feet. With a 7'6" wingspan, with the handle in a perimeter school. We're seeing a version of Kevin Durant 5 inches taller. I mean, damn. I mean, what are you going to do about that? This is ridiculous. And so to come with us and to say, after watching OKC lose 4 out of 5, not having Jay Williams, and to sit up there in California, the sunshine behind you, I'm a little bit jealous about that. The California sunshine behind you, and you sitting up there going like this, well, I still got to give it to OKC. Oh, no, the hell you don't. You don't have to give it to them. I'm looking OKC Thunder in the face because I love me some Shea Butter, and I love his pops, too. He's a cool brother. I love Shea Butter. Let me tell you something right now. The brother's all world. He's special, but he ain't 7'5". And in the end, what it comes down to is you're going to need all your horses to beat San Antonio. We can at least concede that. There isn't a team in the National Basketball Association that can afford to be shorthanded going up against the San Antonio Spurs. We can at least say that. We can say that, Vinny. We can say you got to have all your horses in order to beat those brothers, because Wemby is just that dude. De'Aaron Fox is no scrub. The bigger the moment, the more that brother shows up. Vassell and Castle shows you they ain't joking. Ron Harper should be very proud of his son. Dylan Harper can play. That young brother can play. You understand what I'm saying? He ain't going to be no rookie of the year or anything like that. That's flag or knipple. We get that part. But Harper can ball, and he's going to make a contribution on both sides of the ball. They got a crew in San Antonio. A championship is coming to them sooner than later. But you got to be fully armed to stop it from being this year. You cannot be shorthanded and beat the San Antonio Spurs, Vinny. So as long as Jalen Williams is out with his hamstring injuries and all of that, I don't want to hear about OKC against San Antonio. It ain't going to work.
If it wasn't for one afternoon.
I think he'll be healthy in 2 months.
If it wasn't for
call me in 2 months.
In 2 months.
Don't sit up there and say, oh, they're going to be all right, and you don't bring up the fact that you didn't mention that he was going to be back in 2 months. You are acting like, as presently constructed, they're going to beat the San Antonio Spurs. If
you
going to say
right
he's going to be there in 2 months,
as you say, it's fluid.
Well, you didn't say it was fluid. You didn't say, I told you that. You didn't say it was fluid. Had you said it was fluid, I would have forgave you. You didn't say it was fluid. You got to say it's fluid. It's fluid.
Okay.